Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing another game spotlight on a game that I have found recently called Saelig, and I think that's how you pronounce it. The A and the E are connected together. I'm not really sure, and I couldn't really find a proper way of pronouncing that. But Saelig is a strategy, role-playing, simulation, and trading game about the things that matter in life. So death, money, and family. You will be in charge of managing the life and affairs of the young Anglo-Saxons in the kingdom of Wessex, a kingdom at constant war with the Vikings. It is in this world that you must find a way to thrive and make a name for yourself and your family. There are a great number of things that attracted me to this game, but one of the main things was just how calm and relaxing it seemed. There was nothing too stressful going on during the gameplay trailers. It seemed like all the villagers were just getting on with what they needed to do, and the soldiers were roaming around guarding the area. But then my thoughts drifted to what would happen if the Vikings decided to attack this place. It didn't seem very defensive, and I think that's something that they can add in. Maybe there could be a certain part in the game where you have to defend off against the Vikings. Again, this is very early in development, and it's going to be releasing into early access at the end of June. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the numerous things that Saelig has to offer. Firstly, there are numerous ways which you can live your life. Each one brings both risk and reward. You can find love and start a family. You can start a business, hire workers, and produce the goods that people need, as well as luxury items. I'm not really sure about the first point. I mean, I don't think life works as in you find love and start a family without doing any work in between, as in getting money. I mean, it doesn't really work like that, but I'm sure you can mix these points together. So you can make your fortune by trading between towns. You can head a gang of thieves and take what you want. You can sabotage your competition and monopolize goods. You can accept and carry out missions for people and towns. Now, saying towns as a plural implies that this map has a lot of different towns spread throughout it. Maybe you are able to do multiplayer with that, with your friends or with random people across the world, or maybe it's just to do with AI. Either way, I think it's good, as long as there's an AI option, because with this kind of game, finding players is always very annoying because it's a rather small, not AAA title. So some of the other key features include a living, breathing world where each character is trying to survive and prosper. Each character has their own life from start to finish and has the potential to shape the world around them, just like you. So each individual character has their own kind of personality, and they have the same opportunities that you have, so they can forge their own career as well as their personalities like you can. So I think that's a very good feature. I really do enjoy games where the character doesn't feel out of place or like overpowered compared to the rest of the world. It's a very key factor in making a game immersive. So you can live through several generations. When you die, you can continue as one of your children. Now that is something that Mount & Blade really needs, but we're not going to talk about Mount & Blade for now. We're going to be talking about this game, and I think that is a very, very nice feature because it means that you can see the world travel by over numerous years. So you can see the development of the world through the eyes of your children as well as your starting character, and it also deems the importance of actually having a family and finding love, I guess, in this game, which is a very good idea. There are dynamic seasons and weather that affects the world around you, so I presume snow brings ice to the lakes, so you're going to struggle to get fish, and food is also going to be very difficult to grow because the snow's going to cover the fields. Permafrost will start covering the fields and crops will be very difficult to grow, whereas in the summer it will be a lot easier, where you can grow a lot more crops and you can sustain your town. So it's probably very important to actually stock up your supplies for those winter months. So there are a lot of different types of buildings to purchase and upgrade. We've seen numerous types of buildings through this gameplay trailer, and we'll go into some of those a bit later on, I think. There are also fires and disease that have the potential to not only decimate your home, but towns and villages all over the map. So you've got to keep an eye on those diseases. You do not want the plague sweeping through your town and the whole land, because that's you game over. You're not going to be able to run your family if your children keep getting the plague every time they're born. And obviously once you get to old age, before even getting to old age, you might die of the plague. And I think that's a very good idea. There must be ways of managing those diseases. You probably have doctors, you probably have physicians and things like that. What else is there? There's the fire element. So I guess in a bakery or something like that, when something gets too hot or you leave it on for a certain amount of time, it will cause the actual building to catch fire, which I really do like. So there's a living economy where nothing simply exists. Everything is made and consumed by the population. That's basically saying everything is made by the character, everything man-made anyway. Obviously trees and natural things aren't, but nothing simply exists is a very good statement and a very good way to sum that up. So that's the main features of Saelig, but that is not a feature complete list. However, all of the above, which is what I've just said, is currently available for you to enjoy, with lots more on the way. Obviously not just yet, because it needs 3 weeks or so to finish its development. Recently on the Steam Community Hub, there has been a Q&A summarizing most of the community's questions. So the first one obviously is, how much will it cost? It says it will cost $15 US and there will be a 10% launch discount. The Steam page to this will be down in the description. Go ahead and check this out. This isn't being sponsored. I just really want these more independently developed games to get a little bit more attention. Obviously it's up to you if you want to buy it upon release or not, but I'm just putting the news out there, and I'm really enjoying these more medieval and historical game spotlights and kind of introducing the genre to a wider audience. Before we move on with some more of these questions, I'd like to talk about what this game needs in order for it to be something that I would buy upon its release. Personally, I think it needs to have some form of combat, whether that is maybe a few waves of Vikings attacking or the Vikings raiding, and then you can take control of one of the characters and fight them off. Even if the combat system's not too developed and is very simple, I wouldn't mind that too much. I just think it needs another level of gameplay, whether or not that's done through a strategic gameplay like a Total War style battle. That would be really cool as well, or maybe something a little bit like Men of War, but with a medieval, not a medieval, but a Dark Ages setting. That would be very nice indeed. So continuing on with these questions, the next one reads, will we be able to continue to play after 1066? Obviously 1066 is a very significant year because that was the Norman invasion of Britain. The answer is yes. After 1066 hits, you'll be able to continue as normal. However, the years will stop counting up. Eventually, additional content may be added that can incorporate the Normans. So that does suggest that something happens at 1066. So obviously the Normans come in, maybe it wouldn't really adapt the gameplay as we see it today. I just think he's going to add maybe some stuff later on that would incorporate the Normans. Maybe you have to work under Norman rule and maybe overthrow them or something like that. That would be very, very cool. The next question is a very nice one. It says, is this a city building or managing game? It says, not really. Imagine a game like Banished, but instead of managing an entire population, you're focusing on a particular character, their family and their property. That's what this is. There will be content added later that allows you to become Thegan, which opens up some light city management. That's very cool indeed. So there's going to be hopefully a little bit of a story element with this Thegan character, but that will also add some city management. So obviously these settlements, maybe when they get to a certain size, we can start having some more proper city management. What happens when the character dies? Obviously we talked about that earlier. How is the game actually played? There are two main aspects of gameplay. There's management and character. Left clicking on buildings, characters, etc. will allow you to manage them in a city management kind of way, if you're entitled to do so. Right clicking on things will allow your character to interact with them, kind of like you do in The Sims. So it's kind of like a Sims and city building, loads of different things mixed in together. I like the idea that this guy has. Will there be combat? Now that is a significant question, and the answer to this is going to be very significant to my decision on buying the game. Yes, however, most of it will not directly involve you. Most of the combat will mainly be carried out by soldiers as they battle on various parts of the map against Vikings. As well as that, you'll have the freedom to send your character to fight, murder and assassinate other civilians. That's good enough for me. I think the fact that you can get soldiers, and obviously the better ranking they are or the higher quality those soldiers are, the more likely they are going to be able to defeat the Vikings, and maybe not fighting them yourself isn't too bad. I think going off and letting them fight where you control your city, as it is a more city management kind of game, that is fine by me, as long as there's that secondary combat. That is very good indeed. So how long has this game been in development for? It's been in development for 9 months. How many people are developing the game? He is a one-man team. However, he has commissioned work mainly 3D and 2D content from others, with others contributing to the game. That's very good indeed. He's using the Unity engine, and can I find any of the 3D models? Not relevant to us currently, and other languages will be available eventually, I presume, if this game gets enough purchases or is big enough. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize if I sound really tired in this video. It's because I am just simply really tired. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next battle.